Hello everyone, this is Jacqueline Gordon Kane and we are on chapter 4 in our book club of Lessons Learned as a Woman. And this is a great chapter because we're talking about relationships and good, bad, and ugly about relationships. And ladies, you know this is an area where we struggle at a lot. And this is the area sometimes that we struggle in that is life-changing, whether it's good or bad. So let's just roll right into it. In Luke 6:31, it says, "Do to others as you would have them do unto you." Do to others as you would have them do unto you. You know, if you treat people in your relationships the way you want to be treated, you're likely going to have successful friendships that are going to last a lifetime because you're treating people the way you want to be treating. And then what goes around comes around. And knowing that you are doing your very best to be great to other folk in whatever relationship you have is going to be very helpful. And in this chapter, we break down all the different relationships, the relationships with your family, the relationships with your children, relationships with your friends, relationships with your, in dating, relationships with your husband and wife. It's something that's critical in knowing how to balance it because God gave us relationships for a reason. So it says good relationships are important in our life. I wanted to spend some extra time on this particular chapter because we must, all caps, bold it, must make good choices when it comes to giving our time to any, bold and cap, relationships, any relationships. Being a good daughter, sister, wife, mother, and friend is necessary in order to create wholeness within your circle of life. Lacking good relationships in the above areas will cause confusion and unnecessary pressure in your world. Relationships with your family, friends, and co-workers and any other folk you decide to have relationships with will be different. Knowing how to balance those relationships will surely help you to set boundaries and draw the line in the sand to keep them from overwhelming you. And then we talk about the first topic we need to focus on is family, because family is critical. Friends come and go, jobs come and go, sometimes relationships with men come and go, but your family is constant. And a lot of us struggle in having relationships with our family because, you know, some of us have dysfunctional families. We all do. Not some of us. Everybody has some kind of dysfunction in their family, whether it be between siblings or issues that come into the family to break up the unity that cause dysfunction. We all have it. Family is very important. You must take the time to build a solid family relationship. It is key to having a complete and whole home, a whole and a healthy home. Knowing the right things to do and not do them is the example of a fool. Keep up with how you need to do things in your family. You know, I remember being a little kid, and it's so many of us, my siblings, so many of us. People don't believe it, but it actually was 26 of us total, that my father had different, you know, wives. So, not by one mom. My mom had 14 of those kids, believe it or not. Yes, my mother did. So we had a huge family. So I'm a little bit of an expert on relationships and how family should function because it's been tried and true in my big, huge family. So don't let pride, envy, past hurt, bitterness, shame keep you from having a loving and healthy relationship with your family, especially your parents, your spouse, your children, and your siblings. And I'm going to read that again because this is where a lot of division happen in families because one of these things happen and it causes you to pull away from the family support system. Don't let pride, envy, past hurt, bitterness, shame keep you from having a loving and healthy relationship with your family. See, God created family in order to keep us together so that we could have a place that we call home. If you don't have your family, who can you go to? Make it a priority to forgive your family members as often as it is necessary when offended. And that word offended, I could preach on that till the sun come up and down again. Because being offended is the thing the enemy uses mostly in any relationship, in any situation. If you become offended, then you react and do things you wouldn't normally do. So you got to learn how to understand what offense is. And when it comes up, you got to learn to do something about it, to really look at the situation and regroup and not be fooled by what the enemy wants you to do with trying to be offended all the time about little things. It says you got to make a priority to not be offended. One big thing the enemy was used is strife between family members. He uses this in order to divide and conquer. If I can divide the house, how can the house stand? So he uses that. Never let a fight go on for too long. If you have to a fight, you need to be able to quickly say, I'm sorry. Even if it's not your fault, be the peacemaker. Be the one to say, I'm sorry, so we can move on from it. Ephesians 4:26 says, in your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. This is so critical, my people. Ladies, we have got to learn to let it go and not let the sun go down in our anger. And I know that's difficult sometimes because, you know, we've been hit with some hard things in relationships and we just keep piling it up in our suitcase or our backpack and carrying it around with us until, you know, it gets so deep and wide. You become that person that don't forgive easily, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to say, let me speak with you, let me talk about it, and let's move on from there. You were born to be a peacemaker, and this skill will be required often in order to stay in relationship with your family. Trust me, you're going to have to be using that skill all the time to learn how to be peaceful. Communication in family. The enemy has used division so heavy in my own family with my siblings that it has taken us over 40 years to learn to look each other and say, what was that about anyway? You know, if we bickered about something and we were not close, and now that we're getting older and we're seeing that life is too short, we look at each other and say, wait a minute, you remember that time we were mad with each other, we didn't speak a whole year? What was that about anyway? We can't even remember what it was about because it was foolishness. The enemy wanted us to be divided. He didn't want us to come together to love on each other. He wanted us to stay on our different sides of the world and not speak. So we lost out on some solid foundation of love that we needed. So, you know, you can spend a lifetime running from your family and not spending time with being with each other and learning how to be each other's best friends. And then when something happens, you have all those regrets. Don't have them. Stop what you're doing. Take time. Be with your family. Forgive quick. Move on and learn that you are your support system. The world is not kind. And you having your family to go to is going to be very important. If you can't come to your sister or brother for love and support, then who can you go to? Your friends? That's okay. But it's nothing deeper than blood. Nothing deeper than blood. You have your blood relatives, you need to try to build relationships with them. Give grace to your family. Nothing is too hard to forgive. Christ forgave us even though his own people crucified him on the cross. You do better when you know better. You do better when you know better. Now you know. Teach each other how you want to be treated through communicating your needs. Never let it just be. If you have a heavy heart over a matter, talk it out. I understand pride when it comes to family, but allow room for forgiveness and understanding because that's going to be critical. And let me make this clear, very clear. If you have a family member that continues to do the same wrong things to you over and over, and you forgive them, that's okay to forgive them. But you do not have to go out of your way to make that person a priority in your day-to-day. Okay, let me break that down. There are some people that are so rotten, there's nothing you can do about it. They just need to go get in the Word of God, find a church home, find a support group or something so that they can be cleansed from the praise of the enemy preying on them to cause them to be something they shouldn't be, which causes havoc in your world. You don't have to be around them every day. You don't have to hang out with them, but you can love them from a distance. You can still be kind to them, but you don't have to make them your day-to-day priority, because they need to get somewhere and get themselves together, because it's not going to be you that can fix them. Only God can fix the heart of a man or woman. Communication was so important during the loss of my 23-year-old daughter and my fight. God revealed to me that communication is one of the keys to a successful life. You will run into many unnecessary issues that can be taken care of just by telling the person how you really feel. Don't live a lie. Be truthful. Be truthful to tell somebody how you feel. You got to do it in love. And Kane and I are working on teaching our girls and reminding each other that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You can tell someone what they need to know in a kind manner, and they get it and they make a change. You can tell them something good in a mean, malice way, and nothing will change but cause a relationship to get farther and farther away from each other. You don't want to do that. You want to remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So take the time when you're talking to someone, your family, friends, everybody, and say it the right way, so that you don't have to go back later and try to say, well, that's not what I meant, because they've already taken offense to it and they've already cut you off in their mind, even though you hadn't seen them physically cut you off yet. It'll happen. So you got to be truthful. Be truthful, and don't forget to tell folks what you really mean in kindness. And also take the time to show them, not just in words but in deeds. You got to show people you really love them. Even if it's, hey sis, I'm going by and getting something from the store. You want me to pick you up something? Oh, okay. Or you out getting something, you see something your brother or sister would like. You buy it for them and ship it to them, even if they don't live close to you. So you're building relationships that the enemy can't come in and destroy, because you trued and tried in their world. When you are confronted with problems, use a cool head and calm heart and a gentle hand before talking about an issue. The enemy loves to create hostile environments, which leaves no room for compromise and peace. So always take a deep breath, something going on in your family. Think about how you're going to approach it, and you'll feel so much better once you talk about it and tell them, not in a cruel manner, but in a kind manner. Sometimes we give more chances to others than our own family. We got to stop that mess. Let me talk about that. Sometimes we will give friends who mistreat us more chances than we give our own flesh and blood. You can't do that. Because let me tell you, when you get down to the bottom of it, your family is the one that's going to be there to help you through. So you can't give all these chances for folks hurting you outside of your family more opportunities to come back and hurt you than you do your own family. You can't do that. You got to have a balance in that. Don't be more focused on friends than you are family. And also take time for each other. Don't let time apart start growing in your family, because, and I say this, a lot of men and women who children are raised by their mother or their father, and it's so easy for that man or that woman to forget about that child, because out of sight, out of mind. And that's human nature. If you don't remember or see or do something all the time, you become comfortable with not doing it. So learn to spend time with your family so you don't have that out of sight, out of mind thing. I don't see him and it's all good and I'm not thinking about him. Don't do that. Make an effort to try to spend time with each other. My sister Maria, and this is a good example, she's good at reminding us to call all of our siblings for their birthday. I don't know how she remembers all these birthdays in her head, but she does. And she'll send a group text, hey, it's Stephen's birthday today. Don't forget to call and reach out to him. And it's beautiful because she's keeping us grounded and remembering each other's birthday. Also allow times and allow moments for misunderstandings, but don't allow division or confusion to come in. Make it right quick and leave each other with a hug. Leave each other saying, I'm sorry. Nip it in the bud right away. Do not let stuff linger and cause you problems. Whew. Now, let me get to this chapter. This one is something else. And you girls, I'm a little expert in this one, and that's our dating relationships. And the reason why I say I'm an expert at it, because I love hard. When I submit and commit myself to someone, I am totally sold out and committed. And coming up in life and trying to get to date the right person, I had to learn to back off, slow down, and start looking at things closer than to fall in love quickly and then being heartbroken later. So let me talk to this. I made some huge mistakes in love. I have loved the wrong person, been too hard on the right person, and stayed too long in a bad situation. And I've also walked away from good situations because of the fear of making the same mistake again. My dear daughters, I wish you love and happiness all the days of your life. Sometimes life will throw you some very hard balls which comes to life. This area of life is very concerning for me because it is sometimes difficult to find the right person. I mean, a person who will love you the way you deserve to be loved. Therefore, pray that the Lord will bring the right person into your life and keep you from the wrong person. Pray that. I don't know where you are in your life. I mean, you could be like I have younger daughters who are teenagers who's got to go through this dating thing. Then I have my oldest daughter who's already married, and we prayed her through to find God to find her the right man, and thank you, Lord, he did. And we got 2 more coming along. And then I have sisters, and I have friends, and I have nieces, you know, who are all in this thing where we've got to find the right person to be with in order to live a fulfilled life on this earth as a family. And knowing how to do that is difficult. That's why you have to ask the Lord to show you. You can waste so much of your life trying to love someone who is not meant to be. Therefore, it is critical that you take your time and protect your heart while you get to know someone well. Don't rush into a relationship with the wrong man just because you don't want to be by yourself. Did you hear me? And I'm an expert at it. I did it. Don't rush into a relationship with the wrong man because you don't want to be by yourself. Learning to be by yourself is a good thing. And when I learned how to do that, I had such peace. And not only did I have a great amount of peace, God sent me who I needed because I took the time to learn to love me, and it was okay to be by myself while he found me, put me in the right position so that the man that he had for me would find me. Amen. Motives. Learn that everyone has motives, good and bad, will help you to keep your eyes wide open from the clues that something is not right. Don't take it for granted that someone tell you this person is not faithful. You know, you see it. You see it, someone tells you that, but you ignore it because you just want to have them. No, 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 no. Their motives are to take advantage of you and your body. Look at the clues, figure it out. Also, I want to talk about soul ties, and a lot of us don't understand what this means, but soul ties is real. Soul ties can be good and bad. I want to focus on the sexual soul tie. The sexual soul tie is giving yourself to a person sexually and they are not your spouse. See, being intimate with your husband was ordained by God. If you're out here being intimate with everybody you come in contact with, whoever they are is leaving a piece of them with you, and it makes it more difficult for you to live a full life because you're always carrying around what you got from them, and you don't want to do that. You want to have good soul ties. You want to laugh, have good fun, and hang out with each other and get to be friends and know each other and see if you are even a match. You don't want to just hop into the intimate part of a relationship and then find out you don't match. You're not good for each other. And there you go, adding Bubba to your list of things you got to get over now. When you are done with each other, after you've had all this intimate things with each other, you have left part of your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions behind with that person. Your mind, your will, and your emotions are left behind with them, and they're not even worth your time. So slow it down. Slow your roll. Get to know people. See if they're a match. Ask God to reveal things to you so that you can move on. How do you remove bad soul ties? If you have chosen the wrong man to love and have soul ties, just ask the Lord to remove those ties and move on. Loving the wrong person. Let's see. Let me break this down. The wrong person is someone who is not meant for you. They came into your life and stayed way too long. The wrong person that is not meant for you, they came into your life and stayed way too long. So here are some tips that you're loving the wrong person. Now, I'm going to go a little slow on this because I want you to get this. Okay? They are unequally yoked, meaning not spiritually living for Christ. If a man loves God, he will surely love you correctly because he has a relationship with the one and only living God, the Son, Jesus Christ. If they have a relationship with God, they're going to do right by you. Because if they don't, God is going to tear them up. You hear me? So don't spend your time trying to I'm going to change him. No, ma'am. I tried that. You can't change a man. Only God can change the heart of a man. So you can waste so much time trying to change someone into who you think you want them to be. So I know so many women, including my past self, who tried to change and make a man love me the way I want to be loved. Only God can do that. You can waste so much precious time trying to fix someone who cannot be fixed. Abusive. Number 2, tip that you're loving the wrong man. Abusive, physically, mentally, and verbally abusing you. If a man is abusing you in any way, it is not okay. No matter how many times they say, I didn't mean it, it's not okay. You are not to stay in any relationship where you are made to feel bad or not yourself. Number 3, a relationship that is one-sided. You are doing all the giving and they're doing all the taking. All the date nights, all of his bills, everything is coming to you. And he's never giving you anything in return. This is a sign that it's a one-sided relationship and you need to run. Capital R-U-N, run. Number 4, loving you is conditional. They will only love you if you do exactly what they want. If a man only shows you love when you are doing something for them, then you need to get away from that situation. His love for you is conditional. And you don't want a conditional love. You need unconditional love. Number 5, you are not a priority. Everything else is more important than spending time with you. He is spending time with you on his terms only. It may be because they are giving their time to someone else or something else. Think about it. Number 6, making you feel inadequate, that you are not beautiful enough. If you don't hear you are beautiful from him, but he's always criticizing you for everything, he don't mean you well. You need to get away from that situation. One of my most favorite saying is, only God can change the heart of a man. And I've said that a few times because I want you to get it. You'll be wasting good, critical time trying to change someone else and you don't have that time. So there's a whole lot more in the book about that, and you have to get your copy to read a little bit more because I don't want to make the recording too long. But I'm going to break down, and here it talks about abusive relationships and how you need to eliminate that out of your life. Now I'm going to give you a little bit about the right kind of man. The right man will treat you all the right ways. I pray the Lord in heaven will send you the man who loves, cherish, and provide and make you a priority in his life. You deserve it, honeys. You deserve that. You deserve the very, very best. And if you don't have a man in your life that's giving you the very, very best, or who's working on doing it, showing some effort, then you need to run. The enemy will try to plant phony people in your life to take you down the wrong path and cause you much headache. When a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. The key is, this whole thing is, when a man finds. When a man finds. When he finds you, he finds a good thing. So you need to remember that. In Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and he receives favor from the Lord. See, when a man finds you, he automatically get favor from the Lord. So you need to say, I'm worth it, because you're going to get favor when you find me. So take the time and work on you while the Lord brings you the right person. And I'm going to give you a few clues of who the right man is and loving the right man. A man of God, like we said before, you got to have a man of God who has a relationship with God, because if he loves the Lord, he's going to love and take care of you. A good provider. Have a job and believe in taking care of home first. You got to have a job. You got to take care of home first. If he does that, then he's a good man. He's a keeper. He's a great father or a potential father who's loving, caring, and supportive and playful. If he can take the time to be supportive and playful, you see him walking or playing with his nieces or nephews. You see how he treats his children if he has children already. You see how he takes care of you. If he's doing those things, then you know he's a good choice. He's an encourager. He can encourage you in all situations. He stops what he's doing and he makes sure that you're okay. He's encouraging you. He motivates you to be all that you can be. He loves encouraging you to do the right things, encouraging you to live your dreams. That's a good man. He's a good listener. He can sit and take time to listen to what's going on in your world and be able to repeat what you're saying so that you can get an understanding that he cares. And simple, just simple. Knowing how to keep life simple by being problem and drama free. That's important. You want to have a man that knows how to keep things simple and problem free. Some men have more drama than women. Oh my goodness, I've met a few. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh my gosh. I thought women had drama. Some of them do. You need to run from a situation like that because you can't deal with it. So get your copy. It goes more in details on the right man, wrong man. It goes more in detail what you need to look for. Like I said, for the sake of the video, I don't want to take up too much on one thing, but I will break this out in a session later with question and answers, because I know a lot of you ladies wanted me to talk about that a little better and more, and I will. Now we're talking about your children are coming up, and we're talking about friends and how to have that balance. And again, because of the sake of the video, I want to make sure we get to it, but not in detail. You have to get your book, and then we'll send you a PDF, which we break down a little more. Okay, so children. It says, the above is a hope that I have for you, that you do not grow up too fast, and that you find time to love and take care of yourself. Because the word of God says, teach a child the way they should go, and when they are old, they will return to it. So teach your children the way to go, so when they get older, they'll return back to what they've been taught. And hopefully it's good stuff, not just bad and negative things. They're being taught some good stuff so they can return back to it. Now we're going to talk about friends. Friends are wonderful. Friends are a blessing, and true friendship is necessary. In Proverbs 18:24, it says, one who has unreliable friends will come to ruins soon, but those who have friends who stick closer than a brother are the kind you need. Okay? So you need to have the kind that stick closer than a brother. I mean, I have some girlfriends who would move heaven and earth to get to me if I need them. And I am so blessed to have them. I have some friends who want you to move heaven and earth and get to them when they want it. And if you don't, they cut you off. Oh boy, isn't that a hot mess? Yes, it is. So let's talk about friends. You know, the scripture tells the whole story about friendships. You have to be careful about the company you keep. Never allow yourself to be friends with anyone who has bad character. Never, 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 never. Because you may think you can, I won't do what she do. I already know it's wrong, and I'm not going to fall for that. Honey, if you hang with anybody too long that's doing a certain thing, you will find yourself doing it and wake up one day and be like, oh my God, what happened? You cannot hang around folks with bad character, because you will start making those same kind of choices that they're making. So let's take a look at who you should call friend. Do not confuse associates with friends. Okay? An associate is someone you may work with or talk with occasionally. You do not make this person a major priority in your day-to-day. There is no accountability to an associate because you don't have that kind of friendship. If you see them, that's fine. But if you don't see them, that's fine also. So, learn the difference between an associate and a friend will help you to divide the boundaries and not go too far into a relationship that was not going to work in the first place. You still be kind and cordial to them, but you got to learn the difference. Now, a friend is someone who is accountable to you, and you're accountable to them, and you spend time with them, and you look forward to spending time with them. See, that's a friend. You do not choose your family, but you have total control over the people you call your friend. See, I can't choose who my sister is or my brother. They're my family. So guess what? We got to make it happen and work together. But I can determine and choose who I want to be my friend. And when you choose wisely your friendships, it's going to help you to figure out how to have that balance that you're going to need, because sometimes we put friends in places they shouldn't be, and we end up getting too overwhelmed by it. So I want you to understand how important it is to eliminate the wrong kind of friends out of your life. If you allow the wrong people to take up precious mental space, you will be running after the wind without hope. You cannot allow the wrong people in your life that take up your mental space. You understand? Your mental space is anything that's causing you to get out of your zone of peace to deal with them. You cannot allow that to happen. I have had many associates in my life that I confuse for friends. Friendships should be easy. Look out for friendships that are one-sided. Make it clear in your mind that friends and associates are different. Do not get hung up on someone who is incapable of being a good friend. And girls, you know exactly what I'm saying. You've given them 1,100 chances, and they never turn out to be what they should be as far as you. This one-sided. Just like some dating relationships. If it's any relationship is one-sided, you need to be figuring out how you can escape and run. So you get away from that kind of situation, because hurt people hurt people. We've all heard that before. Hurt people will hurt people. So if you're in a relationship with a friend who's been hurt a lot and have not dealt with it and had the Lord to show them how to forgive and move on, if they still holding on to things and they're a bitter person, those kind of friends will wear you out, because hurt people will hurt people. I've been hurt in my lifetime a lot. I've been hurt from relationships with my family. I've been hurt relationships with my friends. I've been hurt relationships with dating. I've been hurt in relationships on the job, etc., etc., etc. But I did not allow that baggage to grow and come with me everywhere I went. I've learned to let it go, move on, and start anew. And I've learned how to package up a little box, put it on the shelf, and put it away so I don't even think about it anymore. And that takes skill, trust me. To be able to learn how to remove hurt from you so you don't hurt other people is critical to understand. You got to take that hurt. You got to deal with it. Ask the Lord to show you how to move forward. You got to put it in a little box, in a mental box, and you got to take it and put it in a closet somewhere and lock it up, never to come again. Because if you don't, if you keep pulling it off the shelf and remembering it every time something happens, you'll never move forward. And especially in friendships, you got to remember, you got to focus and make sure you don't take those things with you. Let me give you an example of some bad friends. And this is, I wrote this especially for my girls, because in this day and age they're living in, it is critical to find good people to be around. Because kids are so cruel today with social media and being able to post bad stuff about someone when you mad at them, and be able to talk about them and bully them and all that. The stuff they deal with today is crazy. So I wanted them to get some clues on what bad friends are and what good friends are. So this is what I consider a bad friend. Number one, a gossiper. That means they'll tell your business and everybody else's. So if they come to you telling you about everything somebody else did or said, then you need to run, because you shouldn't be happy that someone is sad. And if they're coming there happy because they just want to gossip, you need to just remove yourself from their relationship, because you'll start doing the same thing. A jealous-hearted person can never be happy for you. May say to your face they're proud and good, but they don't mean it. Just listen to how they talk about others, and that's your clue if they're a jealous-hearted person. Number three, they're too needy. Boy, have I ran in a few of these. They're always trying to make you accountable to their every need and will not speak to you if they don't get their way. Capital R-U-N, run. Run, 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 run. You cannot have a too needy of a friend, because that would take too much of the precious time that God has given you to live this thing called life. You can't do it. Run away. A liar. Someone that'll tell you a story about everything. They just lie about everything. They just lie, 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 lie. You need to run, because you can't afford to be around those kind of people. A moocher. And this is something my husband taught me about when we got married. He would always say, oh, that's a moocher, that's a moocher. For you all who don't know what a moocher is, a moocher is someone that is always wants you to give them something, especially money, and they never pay you back. Think about it. They always want to mooch off of you, and they never pay you back. You don't want those kind of friends. You want to run away from them. A non-committed friend, meaning that they're never there when you need them. They want you to be there, but they're never there. You need to run away from those kind of friends. And the qualities of a good friend is a godly person. They treat you well because they know the word of God and will pray for you instead of talk about you. Someone who's truthful. They tell you what you need to know in a honest and a kind way. Honey, that dress, no. You need to wear something else that's more flattering for you, because I'm telling you, you're going to feel uncomfortable in that dress by the time the night go. Now, girl, come on. Then they watching you pull on that dress all night long. No, you don't tell me in a love, kind way what I don't see. Tell me. Let me know. That's a good friend who's truthful and kind. Someone who's available. They stick with you through all things. That may be whatever it is, they make you a priority. See, when Melanie died, I have a few good friends, Carol and Dallas, in the single parent group at Hope and Life. It's so many of my girls that I love. When Melanie died, I'm home. I'm sitting and I'm working on trying to get myself together, and the doorbell rings. Who walks through the door? Carolyn Lamar, my very good friend, bringing donuts and all those things. And she just came and sat with me. She didn't say nothing. Nothing. She just came and sat there with me. And when I tell you that was plenty, it was plenty. Because she was not selfish to say, oh my goodness, Jackie over there, I'm so sorry, I'm praying for her. She took an effort to come ring my doorbell. I hadn't been home maybe 2 hours after leaving hospice with Melanie, because I stayed there with her every day because I wanted to make sure she knew I was there with her. And the doorbell rings, and here she comes walking in with a bag of donuts and just sat there and just watched me, just sitting there, just letting me know from eye contact that it was going to be okay. See, that's a good friend. So guess what? I'll do anything for her. Same thing with my friend Dallas. You know, she put together some of the girls at church, her and Carolyn, in my single parent group, and they worked it out so that they could make sure I had food, and the church and Hope and Life, my church. See, those are good friends. They made sure I was okay. My pastor showed up and told us, you know, it was going to be all right. And me and Kane was just like, man, the love, the support. My neighbors, who I didn't even know, some of my neighbors, and they just showed up because they were showing up in love. And now we're all good friends because that one act of kindness built a friendship. So they are friends who are available is critical. Understanding. They have true empathy and love for you. They're understanding. They're going to give you kind words through your time of need. Not only they're going to give you kind words, they're going to stick with you. They're going to help you get through, and they're going to be understanding for whatever you're going through, not critical and demeaning you because of something happened. They're also going to be generous. They will give you the shirt off their back. I mean, it doesn't matter what they have. If you need it, it's yours. See, those are the kind of friends you need. And you do the same thing. You can't be one-sided. But these are the kind of friends you need. Please allow your friendships to develop and grow as you allow room for each other to be yourselves. Never allow your friendships to take over your life, but make sure you are an excellent friend. Make sure you're an excellent friend. Because I want to be known for a person of character and integrity, and I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I want everyone to know that it's critical for me to give all I have, and I'm expecting you to give back in return. If I see that you're not giving back in return, I hurry up and gradually pull myself away from that situation, whether it be, you know, with friends, family, or foe. You just gotta make sure you are always in a good situation. And ladies, I want to recap on the dating thing and finding the right man and finding the wrong man. You have got to love yourself hard enough to know that you are worth every bit of goodness out there. You are so worth it. Don't settle for less because he's good looking or because he may have a little bit of money in the bank, because all of that stuff don't last. You don't settle for less. Don't think you can change someone and make them out to be something that you want them to be. And I'll wake up one day and like, what happened? Well, what happened was you got lost in the moment and didn't focus on the promise. That's what happened. Stay tied to what God has for you. Your relationship with your friends, family, your children, your dating. Put it all on the altar and let the Lord show you how to master relationships so that you can come out whole. Because as I said, we all get battle scars, but how will those scars heal is going to be up to how you handle the situation. All right? Well, again, this is Jacqueline Gordon Kane. Thank you for joining the book club and going to the website and looking for more information, and get ready for chapter 5. It's coming up and you don't want to miss it. God bless you. Have a good night.